You have no idea how close you are to a life that would shock you. A life where the income you once believed belonged only to the lucky, the connected, or the chosen few becomes something you produce, deliberately, predictably, lawfully. Not someday, not when things get better, but within 12 months. Most people will never believe this is possible. They will hear the words and immediately shrink back into their old thinking. They will say, "That sounds unrealistic." They will whisper, "That could never be me." And that is why most people will live their entire life earning in decades what could have been earned in a single year. Let me ask you something not rhetorical, but piercing. If your life depended on creating more money in the next 12 months than you have ever earned before, would you rise to the challenge or surrender to the same doubts that have held you down for years? Your answer reveals everything about whether your future expands or collapses. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to confront you with a truth you have ignored. Your earning power is not fixed. It is undeveloped. The income you have now is not your ceiling. It is your reflection. It reflects your habits, your beliefs, your decisions, your definiteness, your use of time, your willingness to take command of your mind instead of letting circumstance govern you. If you change nothing, the next year of your life will look identical to the last. If you change everything, the next 12 months can become the most profitable, most accelerated, most transformative financial period you have ever lived. But you must make a decision. Will you allow the next year to repeat the past, or will you rewrite it? Think about this. There are men who accomplish more financially in a single year than their fathers earned in a lifetime. Men who rise from obscurity into influence with such speed that the world blames luck. Men who start with nothing yet create fortunes faster than those who had every advantage. This is not magic. It is not accident. It is not coincidence. It is law. Most people think wealth grows slowly. They think income must climb in small, safe increments. They think prosperity is built in decades. But the truth is far more electrifying. Wealth expands explosively when your mind becomes definite, when your habits align with purpose, when your thinking is ruled by intention instead of drift. Allow me to expose the root cause of most financial struggle. It is not lack of opportunity. It is lack of direction. A drifting mind cannot produce a definite income. A vague desire cannot create a precise result. Wealth must be commanded, not wished for. It must be pursued with discipline, not daydreamed with hope. But here is the secret no one told you. You do not need 5 years, 10 years, or a lifetime to change your finances. You need 12 months of obsession, 12 months of disciplined intention, 12 months of structured thinking, 12 months of eliminating what weakens you and multiplying what strengthens you. That is all. 12 months of serious effort will accomplish what casual effort cannot achieve in 40 years. But the world is full of men who try hard for a week, then collapse into old habits. That is why they never break through. Wealth is created by those who sustain direction long enough for results to obey them. Let me ask you a question you have avoided. What if the life you want is 1 year of discipline away? What if the income you dream of is not impossible? It is simply unclaimed. What if the opportunity you think you're waiting for is actually waiting for you to become definite enough to seize it? Picture your current financial state. Picture your frustrations, your limitations, your anxieties. Now picture the version of you who has mastered 12 months of focus. That version of you does not fear bills. That version of you does not apologize for wanting more. That version of you is not intimidated by wealth. He commands it. But before I reveal how 1 year can change the next 40, you must understand why most men remain trapped. They underestimate the cost of drift. They underestimate the price of indecision. They underestimate how much wealth they lose, not by bad choices, but by no choices. Drifting through a year is the most expensive mistake a man can make. And yet, with the right structure, your structure, 12 months can produce results that astonish even you. But that structure requires three things before any strategy can help you. You must become definite. You must become disciplined. You must become obsessed with one clear financial aim. Without these, no plan will save you. With them, no obstacle can stop you. Now hear this clearly. The difference between a year of struggle and a year of prosperity is not opportunity. It is identity. The man who earns 10 times more is not 10 times smarter. He is 10 times more directed, 10 times more decisive, 10 times more focused, 10 times more committed to becoming the master of his minutes instead of the servant of his impulses. If you saw the world from his perspective for even 1 week, you would laugh at the limitations you currently accept. You would feel insulted by the numbers you once believed were good enough. You would realize how small your financial thinking has been and how large your potential actually is. Before this speech is over, I will give you the blueprint for turning the next 12 months into the most profitable year of your life. But I will not give it to you early. You must feel the weight of possibility before you receive the process that unleashes it. Because the blueprint demands seriousness, and only a serious man can handle the results it produces. But let me leave you with this before we begin. Your life is not limited by time. Your life is limited by thought. And when your thought becomes definite, 12 months is not long. 12 months is enough. 12 months can change everything. Now steady your mind. Sharpen your attention. What comes next is the plan that can make the next year of your life richer than all the years before it combined. There comes a time in every man's life when he must face the truth that his financial condition is not a matter of luck, nor chance, nor the economy. It is a mirror. It reflects the quality of his thought, the precision of his decisions, and the definiteness of his faith. The dollars he earns are but the visible measurement of his inner order. Most men resent this truth. They prefer to blame others, to curse the system, to envy fortune. They say, the rich are favored, opportunity is unfair. But truth is indifferent to complaint. The law does not pity the uninformed. It corrects them through experience. Every man lives under the same principle. His outer world of results corresponds exactly to his inner world of thought. This is the law of correspondence, and until you understand it, money will elude you. Wealth does not begin in the hands, it begins in the mind. The man who waits for better conditions to think richly will wait all his life. The man who first thinks richly under poor conditions soon changes both. The mind is the only real capital in existence. All other forms of wealth are its offspring. Look carefully at your present income. Whether it be large or small, it is perfect proof of your current belief about yourself. Not about money, but about your own worth. Your salary, your clients, your business, all are obedient reflections of how definite you have been in thought and how disciplined you have been in action. A man cannot rise in dollars until he rises in decisions. Your financial life is a classroom and every result is a teacher. If you are not satisfied with your lesson, rewrite it. The first act of power is the recognition that you are not a victim. You are a creator. Circumstance may test you, delay you, or disguise opportunity, but it cannot define you. The moment you decide that wealth is law, not luck, your spirit rises above the environment and begins to command it. The tragedy of most lives is not that they aim too high and fail. It is that they aim too low and succeed. They settle into comfort, mistake it for security, and stop growing. They drift from year to year in polite poverty, earning enough to survive, never enough to command. They are asleep in abundance, unaware that the key to fortune already lies within them. You are not too late, too old, or too limited. You are merely unfocused. Time is not your enemy. It is your servant waiting for direction. The years you fear lost can still be redeemed. The law of increase has no age limit. The mind that organizes itself today can accomplish in 1 year what confusion could not accomplish in 30. Consider the story of Andrew Carnegie, a poor Scottish boy who arrived in America with nothing but courage and curiosity. He worked as a telegraph operator, yet he spent his free hours studying the habits of powerful men. He made one decision, just one, that he would one day control the steel industry. That single definite aim condensed decades of fortune into a few short years. Within 12 months of his decision, the invisible world began rearranging itself in his favor. Opportunities appeared, partnerships formed, and wealth obeyed him. Carnegie's story is not an exception. It is an illustration of law. Definite thought organizes circumstance. Indefinite thought scatters it. The difference between failure and fortune is not intelligence, it is direction. The average man chases 10 ideas and catches none. The man of purpose masters one and multiplies it. The universe rewards the focused mind because the focused mind operates by law. Every fortune begins as an idea held with conviction. The laborer who despises his work yet dreams vaguely of riches never rises. But the man who transforms his thought into purpose, who decides what he will give, not just what he will gain, has already stepped into prosperity. Money is not attracted to need, it is attracted to definiteness. You must awaken the part of you that has been lulled into passivity by doubt. Fear whispers that wealth is beyond your reach. Guilt tells you that abundance is selfish. Laziness disguises itself as waiting for the right time. None of these voices speak truth. They are the enemies of the mind, the silent thieves of opportunity. You owe them nothing. The first act of awakening is observation. Trace your present income back to its true source, your habitual thought. Every fear has cost you money. Every doubt has delayed reward. Every act of indecision has canceled profit that was already on its way to you. Do not condemn yourself for it. Study it. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. Ask yourself this: how much faith do I truly possess in my ability to create wealth? Not imagined faith, but active faith, faith that works through effort, study, and decision. The mind that trusts itself multiplies results. The mind that hesitates multiplies excuses. Faith is not a feeling, it is a working power, the unseen engine behind all visible creation. Money obeys law because it is part of law. The dollar is only energy and form, directed by the one who commands it with purpose. Those who see it as scarce repel it. Those who see it as service attract it. When your thought toward money becomes definite, your results must follow by correspondence. Henry Ford understood this. Before the first Model T was ever produced, he had seen it completed in his mind. He pictured a car that every man could afford, and though he had neither capital nor machinery, the vision took root in his consciousness. The materials came later, the people came later, the money came later. But the image, the definite thought, was there first. That thought became magnet. When you awaken to this law, you stop chasing opportunity and begin commanding it. You no longer say, I hope money finds me. You say, I am prepared for it. You no longer say, I wish for chance. You say, I create cause. This change in speech reflects a deeper change in spirit, the shift from supplicant to sovereign. Repeat this affirmation until it becomes a living conviction. I no longer chase money. I command it by law. My thought is definite, therefore my income is definite. My faith is active, therefore my reward is certain. If your life does not yet reflect this, it is not proof that the law fails. It is proof that your belief wavers. The seed takes time to sprout, but once planted in faith, it cannot fail. You must keep watering it through repetition, visualization, and action. Each time you reaffirm your purpose, you strengthen the vibration that draws your desire into form. Understand that the mind operates by substitution, not erasure. You cannot remove poverty by resisting it. You must replace it with prosperity. You cannot remove doubt by fighting it. You must replace it with faith. The subconscious accepts whatever is repeated with feeling. It does not argue, it obeys. Therefore, feed it new images daily until it forgets the old. This is what I call financial consciousness. It is the state in which a man's thoughts are organized around abundance instead of limitation. In this state, money becomes a servant, not a master. Ideas flow easily. Work becomes expression rather than struggle. Opportunities appear naturally because they are magnetized by your mental order. You must also practice what I call mental contrast. Every man who would multiply wealth must first confront the habits that shrink it. These habits wear many disguises: self-pity masquerading as humility, procrastination posing as caution, disbelief pretending to be realism. Study them honestly. Do not hate them. Outgrow them. They lose power the moment they are seen. Carnegie once said that most people fail to become rich because they never stay at anything long enough to let the law reward them. They plant one seed today, another tomorrow, and wonder why no tree bears fruit. The soil of life responds only to continuity. Wealth is not the product of one decision, it is the result of one decision kept. Begin now to look at your 12 months as one unfolding opportunity. Every hour is currency, every decision investment, every thought a deposit in your account of destiny. If you waste it, it diminishes. If you direct it, it compounds. The law will not cheat you. It will pay in full whatever you demand in faith and discipline. If your present earnings are small, rejoice. They are the beginning of proof that law is impartial. The same principle that produces little can produce much, for the law itself is infinite. You have merely been using it unconsciously. Now you will use it deliberately. Let this truth settle into your mind. Money is not a reward for labor. It is a reflection of service, and service begins in thought. The more definite your thought, the greater your capacity to serve. The greater your service, the greater the compensation. Wealth is the echo of usefulness, magnified by intention. In this awakening, there is no shame, only revelation. The man who once envied fortune now studies it. The man who once feared failure now welcomes it as feedback. The man who once believed wealth was for others now realizes it is lawfully his, once he earns it through discipline of mind. And so, before we speak of goals, strategies, or plans, you must make one silent vow: to never again see yourself as a victim of circumstance. You are not the product of external forces. You are the cause of them. The world around you is your reflection. To change it, you must first change the image that creates it. Each day from this moment forward, begin with this declaration: I am the master of my thought. I am the architect of my income. My circumstances are my servants. I think in terms of law, and therefore I live in terms of increase. When spoken with faith and acted upon with precision, these words become creative commands. They reshape your vibration, and your vibration reshapes your world. You have now awakened to the truth that every limitation in your finances has been self-imposed. You did not lack money. You lacked mental direction. But that ends now. You are entering a new 12-month cycle of definiteness, a year that will serve as living proof of this law. From this day forward, treat every hour as sacred. Let idle talk and fearful company fall away. Keep before you the image of the life you are creating. Let faith be your accountant and definiteness your banker. The world will pay any man who knows what he wants, demands it through service, and refuses to quit. Remember, wealth is not withheld. It is waiting. It waits for the mind clear enough to command it, the hand disciplined enough to serve it, and the spirit faithful enough to deserve it. Now you stand at the threshold of new power. The next 12 months are not 12 ordinary months. They are 12 chambers of opportunity, each containing what your old self believed impossible. You will enter them not with hesitation, but with command. Your awakening is complete when you understand that money, opportunity, and growth are not separate from you. They are extensions of you. They reflect you. They obey you. And as your thought becomes definite, your results must become abundant. Therefore, begin the new year not with hope, but with certainty, not with prayer for luck, but with discipline of mind, not with fear of failure, but with faith in law. For the law of financial awakening declares, a man's fortune changes the moment his thought does. Every man who ever rose from obscurity to distinction began at the same invisible starting line. A decision. One decision. One definite, unwavering, all-consuming aim. Nothing more, nothing less. He may have lacked wealth, talent, or privilege, but he possessed the one quality that makes all other qualities serve him: definiteness of purpose. Until a man decides what he wants, his mind remains divided. And a divided mind cannot attract fortune. It can only reflect confusion. A vague desire is a seed without soil. It floats aimlessly through the air, catching neither root nor nourishment. That is how most men live, dreaming in generalities, wishing for more, without ever defining what more truly means. They wish to be rich, yet cannot tell how much, when, or by what means. They desire success, yet fail to define its shape. The universe cannot reward the uncertain. Law demands precision. You cannot serve two masters, faith and fear, purpose and distraction. They do not coexist in the same mind. The moment you decide upon one definite aim, you automatically silence the thousands of lesser impulses that compete for your attention. Decision is a form of self-respect. It declares that your time, thought, and energy are sacred. When you choose your aim, you command your life to follow. Consider the story of Dr. Frank W. Gonzalez. He was a young preacher with more passion than means, yet he carried within him one burning vision: to build a college where students of limited fortune could study the philosophy of practical achievement. One day, after years of dreaming without action, he decided to act. He announced to his congregation that within 1 week, he would have the $1 million required to found his college. He did not know how, but he knew he would. That single act of decision shifted his vibration from hope to faith. Within 7 days, a wealthy man, impressed by his conviction, wrote the check. Gonzalez had spoken with the voice of definiteness, and the world answered. Faith condenses time. What others spend decades achieving, the definite man compresses into a year. His conviction acts like gravity, drawing people, ideas, and opportunities toward him. The universe cannot resist the man who knows what he wants and refuses to speak of anything else. Understand this: time does not delay results, indecision does. Every time you hesitate, the law pauses. Every time you doubt, progress halts. When you finally decide with full commitment, the forces of life begin moving in harmony. It is not the passing of months that produces results. It is the focusing of mind. I call this the law of compression. When the mind fixes upon one definite purpose and burns away all competing desires, time itself seems to contract. What once required years can occur in months. The definite man bends the hours to his will because his energy is unified. The scattered man stretches them into exhaustion because his energy is divided. You may have wondered why effort sometimes produces no reward. It is not because the world is unjust. It is because your effort has lacked singleness. Each new distraction resets the clock of success. Every new venture begun before the last is mastered, breaks the rhythm of creation. You cannot serve one idea today and another tomorrow and expect either to bloom. Write this truth upon your mind. One definite idea, acted upon with faith, outweighs 1,000 scattered dreams. It is not what you attempt that multiplies wealth. It is what you persist in. The man who chases 10 opportunities loses all. The man who pursues one until it obeys him gains everything. When you decide upon your aim, let it be so clear that it electrifies your imagination. Let it be so inspiring that it consumes doubt. Let it be so practical that it can be measured in time, value, and service. You are not permitted to say, "I want more money." You must say, within 12 months, I will earn this specific sum by providing this specific service, and I will give this specific value in return. The law does not answer vagueness. It obeys definiteness. Thomas Edison understood this. For years, he focused every thought upon a single question: how to produce light without flame. Others mocked him, calling him foolish for wasting time on an impossibility. Yet he continued with perfect calmness. He failed hundreds of times, but he never changed his aim. That unbroken continuity of purpose transformed darkness into industry. And though his invention brought light to the world, it brought greater illumination to the truth of law. All progress belongs to the persistent. There is a difference between wishful want and definite demand. A wish is a beggar's plea. A demand is a king's decree. A wish waits for permission. A demand assumes it. Wishes depend on luck. Demands depend on law. The man who wishes may speak eloquently, but produces nothing. The man who demands quietly within himself, with faith and purpose, sets in motion the forces of creation. You must choose one financial aim so clear that every decision for the next 12 months can be measured against it. Ask yourself, does this serve my definite aim? If the answer is no, it has no right to your time. The world will tempt you with distractions disguised as opportunities. Refuse them. Let others chase trends. You will chase mastery. Now, let me give you a simple but sacred formula, the 12-month AIM formula. First, define the exact amount of money you intend to earn in the next 12 months. Do not lower the figure to fit your fear. Set it to stretch your faith. The mind requires a goal large enough to awaken its full power. Second, define the exact service or value you will provide in return. The universe trades only in equivalence. You cannot take more than you give. If you wish to multiply your income, multiply your usefulness. Third, write this aim daily, morning and night. Handwriting impresses thought upon the subconscious more deeply than memory alone. Fourth, speak it aloud with emotion. Feel the reality of it. Convince your heart until your heart convinces your world. Fifth, visualize its completion as fact. See yourself living in the result. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish imagination from reality. It obeys whatever image it receives repeatedly. Follow this practice without interruption, and your mind will begin to act automatically in harmony with your purpose. Ideas will appear. People will approach. Chances you once overlooked will reveal themselves as divine appointments. Consider Henry Ford's story once again. When he conceived the idea of the V8 engine, his engineers insisted it was impossible. Ford simply said, "Build it anyway." For 6 months they failed. For 12 months they failed again. Each time they returned, Ford repeated the same command, "Build it anyway." One day the impossible yielded. The law had surrendered to definiteness. The same principle applies to your income. When you set your financial aim and refuse to compromise, every obstacle must eventually bow. Doubt will test you. Delay will challenge you, but law will not deny you. Definiteness creates magnetism. People are instinctively drawn to a man who knows what he wants. He speaks with confidence, moves with direction, and radiates assurance. Such a man does not need to persuade. His conviction persuades for him. Others feel his faith and want to join it. They trust him because he trusts himself. Imagine how the world will treat you when you carry that vibration. Employers will respect you. Clients will sense reliability. Investors will sense certainty. Opportunities will approach as if they recognize their master. You will no longer compete. You will attract. But beware of indecision, for it is the only real poverty. The man who hesitates between two desires ends with neither. The man who delays until conditions are perfect never begins. The law rewards movement, not perfection. Begin now with whatever you have, wherever you are, and let definiteness refine you as you go. Every fortune begins in imagination but ends in action. You cannot think your way into riches while remaining still. Thought is the spark. Action is the flame. Both are required to produce light. Therefore, as soon as you decide your aim, begin working toward it, even if the first steps seem small. Each act strengthens the vibration of your belief. There will be days when doubt whispers, "What if this fails?" When that moment comes, answer with the only reply faith allows, "Then I will adjust, learn, and try again, but I will not stop." Doubt fears persistence more than anything else. Once it sees you will not retreat, it withdraws. You must learn to protect your aim from the noise of lesser minds. Do not share your goal with those who ridicule or minimize ambition. Their disbelief is contagious. Share it only with those who understand law, who encourage your growth, who feed your fire rather than dampen it. If you remain faithful to your decision for 12 months, your personality itself will change. You will walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Every fiber of your being will align toward one direction, and nature herself will bend to assist you. Remember this law. When a man becomes definite, life reorganizes itself around him. He ceases to be a leaf blown by wind and becomes a compass that directs the wind. He no longer waits for opportunity. He manufactures it through conviction. Each morning, repeat this affirmation. I choose one financial aim, and I give it my whole mind, my whole heart, my whole effort until it obeys me. My purpose is definite. Therefore, my success is certain. Then each night, visualize your aim as completed. See the numbers, the service, the satisfaction of work well done. Feel gratitude as if it were already yours. That emotion seals the image into the subconscious, which will then work through dream, intuition, and circumstance to fulfill it. In the coming months, others will notice something about you. They will sense your new energy. They may not understand it, but they will respect it. They will speak of you as focused, driven, certain, and in truth, that is exactly what you will be. Your inner state will announce itself before your achievements do. One decision made with burning desire outweighs 100 small efforts made with uncertainty. The difference between the man who earns a modest living and the man who earns a fortune is not intelligence, it is decisiveness. The average man waits for conditions to decide for him. The great man decides and makes conditions obey. If you would make in 1 year what others make in a lifetime, you must live that year as if it were your entire life condensed into 12 months. Every thought must serve your aim. Every hour must feed it. Every conversation must align with it. Every emotion must strengthen it. There is no magic here, only law. The same law that grows a tree from a seed will grow wealth from a decision, if the seed is planted deep and watered daily. The careless man scatters his seeds upon stone. The wise man plants one, tends it, and watches it multiply. By now you understand that wishing is not enough. You must demand, decide, and dedicate. The dreamer drifts through life saying, "Someday." The definite man builds each day as if it were the cornerstone of empire. He knows that someday is a myth created by hesitation. Therefore, choose your aim tonight. Do not delay another sunrise. Write it down with conviction. Speak it aloud until your voice trembles with belief. Begin living from it, not toward it. And remember, the moment of decision is the moment destiny begins to move. 12 months from now, you will look back upon this night as the dividing line between two lives, the one you drifted through and the one you commanded. You will not wonder if wealth is possible. You will know that it obeys law, and you will realize that your fortune began not with money, nor chance, nor luck, but with a decision so definite that even time itself had to bow. If I could impress one truth upon the mind of every man seeking prosperity, it would be this: wealth is not the result of one great effort, but of many small efforts performed with rhythm, precision, and faith. Success, like the seasons, follows the law of rhythm. There is no harvest without planting, no growth without order, no fortune without discipline. The average man lives in emotional cycles. He begins with excitement, collapses in doubt, then waits for inspiration to lift him again. The man of wealth has learned to replace emotion with rhythm. He no longer waits to feel ready. He acts until readiness becomes his nature. Most men mistake movement for progress. They rush, they labor, they fill their days with activity, yet they advance no farther than when they began. They are like a ship without a rudder, always moving, never arriving. The high-performing man understands that motion without direction is waste, and direction without discipline is illusion. Discipline is the bridge between the dream and its manifestation. When a man disciplines his habits, he transforms invisible thought into visible result. Each repeated act engraves itself upon the subconscious, and that subconscious, once trained, works tirelessly in his favor. The man who repeats disorder produces confusion. The man who repeats order produces mastery. Every fortune rests upon this invisible scaffolding of disciplined behavior. You cannot manage money until you manage minutes, for time is the only true currency of life, and he who squanders minutes has already declared bankruptcy of the mind. The undisciplined man spends time. The disciplined man invests it. Every day, every hour, every moment must be converted into value. The law does not reward those who merely wish. It rewards those who convert time into service and service into progress. Let us look at a practical demonstration of this law. Charles M. Schwab, president of Bethlehem Steel, once sought the help of a consultant named Ivy Lee. Schwab asked for a method to increase his company's efficiency. Lee gave him a simple but profound system. Each night he told Schwab to write down the 6 most important tasks for the following day, arranged in order of importance. Each morning, begin with the first and work until it is complete before moving to the second. Continue this practice daily. Weeks later, Schwab reported the system had transformed his entire organization. He wrote Lee a check for $25,000, a fortune at that time, for what he called the most profitable lesson ever learned. What was the power in this system? Discipline, definite order, repetition. Schwab discovered that organized attention multiplies results far more than scattered energy. He proved that 1 hour of definite labor outweighs 10 of distracted toil. The same principle will work for you if you will apply it with faith. The world is filled with talented men who remain poor because they never learned consistency. Talent without discipline is like a powerful engine without fuel. It makes noise, but goes nowhere. Discipline is the fuel that converts potential into performance. It is the quiet, invisible force behind every man who appears lucky. The truth is, luck is simply the law of averages rewarding persistence. Understand this law of compounding action. Each small improvement multiplies itself. A single decision to increase efficiency by 1% each day does not seem significant at first. Yet compounded over weeks and months, it becomes a revolution of productivity. The man who improves his performance by 1% daily will double his capacity within a year. Nature works by this same law: slow, steady, continuous increase. The seed becomes the tree not through explosion, but through daily obedience to growth. F.W. Woolworth, founder of the great 5 and 10 cent stores, understood this principle. He began as a poor clerk, mocked for his lack of education. Yet each day he arrived earlier than others, studied his customers more carefully, and improved one detail of his work. He swept floors, arranged displays, greeted each visitor as if they were royalty. Day by day, he gained insight into what pleased buyers. Over time, these small observations compounded into mastery. When he finally opened his own store, his experience, built through daily discipline, created an empire. His story proves that steady faith, applied through rhythm, outlasts brilliance without effort. Discipline is freedom's foundation. To the untrained mind, the word discipline sounds like confinement, but to the enlightened man, it is liberation. Discipline frees the mind from confusion, the heart from fear, and the will from weakness. It converts scattered potential into concentrated power. The undisciplined man is a slave to moods. The disciplined man commands them. The undisciplined man drifts between effort and idleness. The disciplined man works by principle, not emotion. You may believe your challenge is lack of opportunity, when in truth it is lack of order. The opportunities you seek are already present, but they cannot approach chaos. Life gives more to the man who can manage what he already has. When your thoughts are ordered, opportunities see you as a stable home. When your habits are undisciplined, opportunities pass you by. The universe does not entrust fortune to disorder. Here is an affirmation to ingrain this truth. I honor every hour as gold. My discipline compounds wealth. My order invites opportunity. I control my work, and my work multiplies my reward. Each morning when you rise, repeat these words. They will train your mind to view every moment as currency. Soon, your subconscious will begin to treat time as sacred, and when time becomes sacred, waste becomes intolerable. Remember, your daily routine is the visible evidence of your belief in yourself. If you treat your hours casually, you confess disbelief in your destiny. The man who believes in greatness acts as if his minutes are precious stones. He polishes them through attention. He protects them from thieves called distraction. He spends them only on that which multiplies. Understand this subtle truth. Your routine is your religion. Whatever you do repeatedly, you worship. If you worship laziness, your altar will be poverty. If you worship precision, your altar will be abundance. There is no neutrality in habit. Every act repeated daily creates either mastery or mediocrity. Routine breeds momentum, and momentum becomes magnetism. Each day you honor your definite purpose through discipline. Your power compounds invisibly. The first few days require effort. The next few weeks require perseverance. But then something miraculous occurs. The habits begin to carry you. What was once effort becomes instinct. Discipline transforms into pleasure, and momentum does the heavy lifting. Consider nature. The sun rises and sets by perfect order. The tides follow their rhythm without complaint. The seasons arrive and depart in harmony. The entire universe obeys the law of rhythm. You too must bring your financial life into this rhythm, the rhythm of planning, of effort, of rest, of reflection. When your days follow divine order, chaos has no entry. Let us return to our 12-month plan. If you will establish one rhythm, one daily schedule, and keep it with faith for even 90 days, you will accomplish more than you have in the past 5 years. Discipline is the lever that moves time. The man of rhythm compresses results. The man of disorder delays them indefinitely. One of the greatest secrets of success is this. The disciplined man never stops to decide whether he feels like it. He does what the plan demands, not what emotion permits. His will becomes stronger than his whim. It is this inner obedience that sets him apart from the drifter, the dreamer, the almost successful. You will notice that as you train yourself to consistent action, your faith increases. This is because the subconscious trusts evidence, not promises. When it sees you keeping your own word, it begins to believe in you. Each kept promise adds weight to your faith. Each broken promise drains it. Discipline is simply faith made visible. I will give you a simple test to measure your seriousness. How many times this week did you do exactly what you said you would do at the time you said you would do it? Every instance of obedience strengthens your spiritual credit. Every act of delay incurs debt. Pay that debt quickly through renewed effort. There will be moments when fatigue tempts you to slacken. When that occurs, remember this law. One day of neglect weakens the chain. 1 week of discipline rebuilds it. Never yield to guilt. Yield only to improvement. The disciplined man does not condemn himself for mistakes. He corrects them through repetition of right action. When emotion fails, rhythm sustains. When inspiration fades, order continues. When enthusiasm dies, discipline resurrects it. This is why great fortunes belong to those who simply continue long after others have quit. Consistency is the highest form of genius, for it conquers time itself. I call this the 12-month rhythm. It is the secret heartbeat of extraordinary achievement. Just as the farmer tills, plants, waters, and waits, so must you work your plan in cycles. There will be moments of excitement, moments of doubt, moments of quiet progress unseen by the world. But through it all, you must remain steady. The man who obeys this rhythm cannot fail. The man who breaks it cannot succeed. Think of your work not as labor, but as devotion. Each act of discipline is an offering to your purpose. Each task completed is a prayer answered. The world respects those who respect their own commitments. As your reliability grows, people will entrust you with more. Employers will promote you. Clients will return. Partners will invest, all because they sense your dependability. They may not articulate it, but they will feel it. A man of rhythm becomes magnetic. His presence commands confidence. Others sense stability around him. He moves with calmness, not haste, with purpose, not panic. The undisciplined chase urgency. The disciplined emanate power. Let me tell you what will happen when you practice daily order for 12 months. By the 3rd month, you will notice an expansion of energy. By the 6th, you will have produced results that astonish even you. By the 12th, you will no longer recognize the man you were before. Discipline will have restructured your identity. It will have rewritten your self-image from I try to I do. And that new image will continue producing wealth long after enthusiasm would have faded. Now let us be practical. Each evening, review your day. Write down the 3 acts that advanced your purpose most. Then write 1 act that wasted your time. This simple reflection strengthens awareness. Tomorrow, repeat what worked and remove what did not. Within weeks, you will see your productivity double. Carry a notebook of intentions. At the top of each page, write your definite financial aim. Beneath it, record each action you complete toward it. Watch how motivation grows when you see progress accumulate in ink. This visible record transforms abstract effort into measurable accomplishment. And never forget to rest. Rhythm requires balance. The mind recharges in silence, the body in stillness, the spirit in gratitude. When you rest with faith rather than worry, rest becomes creative incubation. Great ideas will come during these moments of calm. Discipline without rest leads to exhaustion. Discipline with rhythm leads to mastery. Let us end this lesson with a clear decree. I move in perfect rhythm with law. My actions are ordered. My effort compounds. My will is steady. My results are certain. Repeat this until it becomes part of your mental bloodstream, then live by it. Every time you choose order over chaos, focus over distraction, perseverance over surrender, you affirm your allegiance to law. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment. It is the act of bringing yourself into harmony with the principles that govern success. The undisciplined man fights these laws and suffers. The disciplined man obeys them and prospers. The universe is impartial. It rewards obedience, not opinion. Therefore, decide this very hour that you will live the next 12 months as a man of rhythm. Let no day pass without progress. Let no hour go unused. Let no excuse survive your decision. You need not work harder than others, only more consistently. When the world sees your constancy, it will begin to adjust itself to serve you. When opportunities sense your reliability, they will seek you out. When fortune observes your faith, it will accelerate toward you. For the law of compounding action declares, every right act builds upon the last until momentum itself becomes your servant. And when others call you lucky, you will smile, knowing luck had nothing to do with it. It was discipline, the quiet architect of destiny, working unseen, faithful to every command of law. There comes a point in every man's journey toward wealth when mere stability is no longer enough. To remain where he is becomes a kind of poverty in disguise. Progress demands expansion, and expansion demands understanding of the next law, the law of multiplication. Once you have achieved direction and discipline, the natural impulse of success is growth. Life itself multiplies. Every living thing increases by law, and wealth obeys that same law. It grows where it is used rightly. It withers where it is hoarded. The first stream of income is the root. It must be planted deeply in the soil of mastery. Only after it has taken hold, only after it can sustain itself, should you think of creating another. Most men do the opposite. They scatter effort before the first seed has broken ground. They begin 10 ventures, none of which bear fruit. The disciplined builder masters one foundation, then extends it outward. Expansion without order is chaos. Order without expansion is stagnation. To multiply wealth, you must unite both. Money multiplies for the man who multiplies service. The entire structure of civilization rests upon this truth. Every fortune is payment for the number of people served and the quality of service rendered. If you wish to earn more, you must serve more. And if you wish to serve more, you must organize better. The stream expands not by chance, but by channel. Think of John D. Rockefeller. He began as a bookkeeper, earning a few dollars a week, but his aim was not employment, it was efficiency. He mastered the art of organization, learned every detail of oil refinement, and once he achieved control of that single process, he expanded outward. He multiplied into distribution, transportation, and finance. He did not build by greed, but by law. He added one channel at a time, only when each was stable. Thus, his empire rose with the precision of mathematics, not the chaos of speculation. I have often said that the secret of great fortunes lies not in chance, but in the ability to multiply order. When a man's inner world is organized, his outer affairs reflect that harmony. Wealth expands only in minds capable of handling it. The law of multiplication punishes the reckless and rewards the prepared. The undisciplined man who seeks to multiply too soon loses both what he had and what he hoped for. But the man who multiplies only what he has mastered creates wealth that endures generations. The first step in this law is identification. You must know your core stream. Ask yourself, what skill, talent, or service do I provide that brings genuine value to others? That is your source. Pour every improvement into that stream until it flows smoothly. Once it produces value without constant supervision, then, and only then, expand. The universe does not increase what you neglect, it increases what you perfect. Edison demonstrated this beautifully. He did not scatter his genius across 100 inventions at once. He focused his imagination upon electricity until mastery was achieved. Only then did he turn his attention to new realms, sound, motion, and communication. From the phonograph came the record industry. From the light bulb came entire industries of power and manufacturing. Each creation was born from a single law. One idea fully realized gives birth to many others. You must think of wealth not as accumulation, but as multiplication of usefulness. Each new stream of income must serve life in some way. When your motive is service, expansion occurs naturally. When your motive is greed, it collapses upon itself. Money, like blood, must circulate to sustain vitality. If you hoard it, you stop its pulse. Let this affirmation anchor your mind. I multiply only what I can manage. I expand only what I have mastered. My wealth grows in harmony with my discipline. These words are not poetry, they are mathematics. The law of multiplication responds only to balance. You cannot receive increase from a mind divided between excitement and fear. Order must precede abundance. Consider Henry Ford again. His first stream was production, the assembly line that revolutionized manufacturing. Once perfected, he multiplied it across every plant, every model, every worker. He did not expand by chance, but by design. He multiplied efficiency, not effort. His focus on mastery produced leverage, and leverage multiplied his reach. Ford's expansion was not reckless, it was rhythmic. The same law can govern your own advancement, whether you lead a factory or a single idea. Let me offer another example from the life of Andrew Carnegie. After establishing dominance in the steel industry, he multiplied not by chasing new ventures, but by reinvesting in his own system. He improved processes, reduced waste, built alliances, and trained men in his methods until his enterprise grew beyond his lifetime. Later, he turned his wealth to the multiplication of minds through libraries, schools, and charities. In that act, his wealth outlived him. You must understand that multiplication begins with reinvestment. Every profit you make must serve one of three purposes. First, to strengthen your foundation. Second, to increase your efficiency. Third, to expand your capacity. The fool spends his profits on display. The wise man reinvests them into greater usefulness. What you reinvest grows. What you consume disappears. The law of multiplication is the law of stewardship. The world does not give more to him who wastes what he has. If you wish to multiply your streams, begin by multiplying your competence. Train others, delegate wisely, automate systems, and educate yourself relentlessly. The man who increases his capacity naturally attracts greater opportunity. Think of opportunity as a guest seeking a home. It knocks not upon the door of enthusiasm, but upon the door of order. It enters where it senses structure, where it sees preparedness. A disordered mind drives opportunity away. A prepared mind draws it closer. This is why mastery of one thing brings invitations to many. The world loves a specialist who moves with command. To practice this law, take inventory of your current stream of income. Ask, where can I increase value? Where can I reduce friction? Where can I add service? The moment improvement becomes consistent, you are ready for multiplication. Do not force new streams. Let them unfold as extensions of your strength. I once advised a businessman who operated a small printing company. His desire was to increase income, but he lacked direction. I asked him, what part of your work produces the most satisfaction and value to others? He replied, design. I told him, then make design your master stream. He focused on refining his art, hired an apprentice to manage printing, and within 1 year opened a design agency that tripled his income. His mistake before was trying to multiply chaos. When he multiplied order, success followed lawfully. The law of multiplication also includes what I call invisible leverage. The better you serve, the more people serve you without realizing it. Each satisfied client becomes a silent salesman. Each honest act becomes unseen advertisement. Each improved process becomes a seed of future gain. You do not need to beg for expansion when excellence itself multiplies your reach. Let me remind you that every act of service sends ripples through the unseen. The smallest improvement in your craft may inspire another to speak your name in rooms you have never entered. The universe is a vast network of correspondence. Each act finds its echo. Multiply quality and quantity will follow. There is also a spiritual side to this law. Increase requires gratitude. When you give thanks for what you have, you create the vibration that invites more. Ingratitude signals to the subconscious that you are unfit for stewardship. The man who complains of his portion closes the gate of increase. The man who blesses his portion opens it. Gratitude is the key that unlocks multiplication. Now understand this balance. Expansion must be governed by rhythm. Do not mistake haste for growth. The seed that sprouts overnight seldom survives the storm. The slow, steady tree outlives the weed that shoots up quickly. In your own financial life, beware of opportunities that promise rapid profit without structure. Real multiplication follows sequence. Mastery, expansion, stability, then further growth. Let us speak of the role of courage. Many men fail to multiply not because they are incapable, but because they fear success. Subconsciously, they feel unworthy of greater responsibility. This hidden doubt sabotages them. True increase requires courage to believe you are worthy of more. You must see yourself as capable of managing abundance before abundance will approach. The timid man rejects opportunity unconsciously. The bold man welcomes it. When others see you expanding in rhythm, they will call you lucky. They will not understand that luck is only the shadow cast by preparedness meeting opportunity. They will imagine you have discovered some hidden shortcut. You will know that your only secret was obedience to law. Repeat this affirmation daily. My work multiplies because my mind is ordered. My wealth increases because my service increases. I grow by law, and my results grow with me. These words will train your subconscious to expect increase naturally. Expectation is the silent partner of multiplication. A man who expects little receives little. A man who expects much prepares accordingly, and law rewards his readiness. Never forget that expansion requires humility. Pride makes a man reckless. Gratitude keeps him wise. Pride expands faster than capacity and collapses under its own weight. Gratitude grows with balance and sustains the structure. Carnegie remained humble before law. Rockefeller remained a student of detail. They mastered growth because they remained teachable. As you multiply, you will also multiply influence. Others will look to you for guidance. Treat them as partners, not servants. Share credit freely. Loyalty multiplies faster than money. When people feel valued, they will carry your vision further than you can travel alone. The wealthiest man is he whose ideas are continued by willing hearts. Let us imagine how your life will appear once this law is in motion. Within 12 months of disciplined practice, your first stream of income stabilizes. Then perhaps you add another, a service connected to the first. Within 18 months, that second stream strengthens the first instead of dividing it. You reinvest profits into systems, tools, and training. Soon, what once seemed a modest endeavor becomes a network of prosperity. Those who once doubted you begin to seek your advice. Your confidence radiates, not as arrogance, but as calm command. The man who multiplies in harmony with law does not rush. He knows that increase must match capacity. He builds systems before expansion, faith before fortune, and understanding before accumulation. In this way, his wealth endures. His house stands when others fall. Now let me speak directly to your soul. You were not created for smallness. You were not born merely to survive. The law of life is growth. Every seed in nature strives to become more. Every star expands its light. Every man, when awakened, feels the same impulse to increase, to improve, to extend his influence. To deny this impulse is to deny divine order. The desire for expansion is not greed, it is the voice of life itself seeking fuller expression through you. Therefore, commit yourself to this truth. The next 12 months shall not be a repetition of old patterns. They shall be the year of expansion through discipline. Let no fear of failure deter you. The only true failure is refusal to grow. Begin by perfecting what you already possess. Sharpen your craft, improve your efficiency, strengthen your habits. Then, when the time is right, expand by law. Every new channel must serve your definite aim, not distract from it. Every increase must multiply peace, not destroy it. If you obey these conditions, wealth will flow naturally, rhythmically, abundantly. Remember this closing decree: I am a steward of divine increase. I master my work before I expand it. I multiply through service, grow through gratitude, and prosper through order. My wealth serves law, and therefore it endures. Hold these words not as hope, but as command. Speak them until they become instinct. For the man who multiplies by law becomes the master of abundance. He no longer chases opportunity. Opportunity multiplies to find him. And so, as you continue your 12-month journey, let every improvement remind you that growth is proof of life. Multiply wisely, multiply lawfully, multiply faithfully. For in the language of the universe, increase is obedience to purpose, and purpose fulfilled is wealth without end. There is a law more powerful than effort, stronger than labor, and more creative than skill. It is unseen by the eye, but felt by the heart. It governs every form of increase and determines whether a man's work becomes fortune or frustration. That law is faithful expectation. Until this law is understood and obeyed, even the most disciplined effort will fall short of its reward. For it is not what a man does that determines his success. It is what he expects from what he does. You have heard it said that faith moves mountains. I tell you, it also moves money, opportunity, and destiny. Faith is not belief without evidence. It is belief that creates evidence. It is the invisible blueprint that precedes every visible result. The man who expects failure will unconsciously prepare the conditions to prove himself right. The man who expects success prepares the same, but in the opposite direction. Expectation is creative command. Whatever image you hold before your mind long enough, the law of life must reproduce. Understand that worry and faith are the same force traveling in opposite directions. Worry visualizes what you do not want and nourishes it with emotion. Faith visualizes what you do want and nourishes it with conviction. The subconscious does not differentiate. It obeys the image it receives most often. That is why fear and doubt are the greatest thieves of fortune. They issue orders to your unseen mind, commanding it to deliver the very circumstances you dread. Let me tell you the story of Dr. Elmer Gates, one of the greatest inventive minds of the early century. He practiced what he called the faith imagination method. Each morning he entered a soundproof chamber, sat in silence, and visualized the results he sought. He did not hope for ideas, he expected them. Within minutes, impressions would arrive like spoken thoughts. From this practice came hundreds of patents, devices, and innovations. Gates proved through experiment what the scriptures and philosophy have long taught. The mind that expects receives. Expectation is not idle hope. It is disciplined belief sustained by definite purpose. The man who expects abundance without service is a dreamer. The man who expects results without persistence is a fool. But the man who expects increase because he has aligned his work with law, he is master of his destiny. I once asked a young salesman what he expected from his career. He replied, "I hope to make enough to get by." His words were prophecy. Another, working the same territory, declared, "I expect to become the highest earner in this district." Within 1 year, he fulfilled his expectation. They shared the same opportunity, the same tools, the same market, but not the same belief. One approached the day with doubt, the other with faith. The law cannot reward both equally. You must therefore take charge of what you expect. Expectation is a spiritual magnet, and it attracts after its kind. When you rise in the morning, what do you anticipate? Are you preparing for rejection or for reward? Do you imagine obstacles or opportunities? The mind, once trained, will begin arranging reality to match its most frequent image. You are never merely reacting to life. You are continually projecting it. There is a divine rhythm to expectation. It begins in thought, becomes emotion, and ends in experience. Each stage must be purified of fear. When the thought is definite, the emotion becomes faith. When the emotion becomes faith, the experience must follow. That is why it is written, "According to your faith, be it unto you." You are the measure of your own outcome. Dr. Gates expected ideas and received them. Henry Ford expected progress even when his engineers called it impossible. They told him the V8 engine could not be built. He replied, "Build it anyway." Month after month they failed, but Ford's faith never faltered. His expectation held steady, and one day the design appeared. Faithful expectation bent reality to its decree. Let me give you an affirmation that carries the vibration of this law. I expect increase. I expect opportunity. I expect wealth because I work in harmony with law. Speak it each morning with conviction, not as a wish, but as an announcement to the universe. You will soon notice how the mind begins searching for evidence to justify the belief. The subconscious, eager to obey, will lead you toward people, places, and ideas that match your declaration. But do not confuse faith with arrogance. Faith is quiet. Arrogance is loud. Faith smiles where pride boasts. The faithful man does not demand of others. He commands himself. He knows the result is certain and therefore feels no need to rush or prove. He walks calmly through uncertainty because he understands that uncertainty is merely the shadow cast by unfolding order. The doubting man rushes. The faithful man moves with certainty. The doubting man waits for proof. The faithful man becomes proof. The doubting man fears the future. The faithful man builds it. Fear cancels the order. Faith fulfills it. The moment you worry, you revoke the command. You cannot hold two images, fear of loss and faith in gain, at once. One must yield. Therefore, train your mind to withdraw energy from fear and feed it to faith. Each time you imagine success, you water the seed. Each time you imagine failure, you poison the soil. You may ask, how do I strengthen my expectation when I have failed before? Begin with gratitude. Gratitude transforms failure into fuel. Each past disappointment contained a lesson, and that lesson was preparation. When you give thanks, even for what hurt you, you release its power to harm. Gratitude turns memory into wisdom, and wisdom turns fear into faith. Another practice, review your definite aim morning and night. See it completed. Feel the peace that follows fulfillment. Repeat this until the emotion of accomplishment replaces the emotion of longing. You are not to imagine that it might happen. You are to feel that it has happened. The subconscious knows no difference between rehearsal and reality. It obeys conviction. You must also guard your mental environment. Do not share your vision with unbelievers until it is strong enough to stand alone. Doubt from others can weaken faith that is still forming. When the oak is yet a seedling, protect it from storms. When it becomes a tree, the storms will strengthen it. Keep your dream within the circle of faith until it grows its own roots. Remember the story of my own son, Blair, born without physical ears. The world declared he would never hear, but his mother and I expected differently. We impressed upon his mind, through every word and gesture, the belief that he could hear. We acted as though the ability were already his. In time, his hearing developed, not fully at first, but enough to astonish doctors. Faithful expectation had overcome physical limitation. The same principle will overcome financial limitation if applied with equal conviction. Expectation, when sustained, becomes atmosphere. People feel it around you. They sense your confidence even before you speak. It is not bravado, it is vibration. The faithful man enters a room and others feel steadier. They trust his words. They lean toward his ideas. This invisible influence is more valuable than argument or intellect. It is the quiet assurance of one who lives by law. You must train yourself to expect good in every situation. When others complain, you will look for lessons. When others despair, you will see opportunity. The difference is not circumstance, it is expectation. The mind cannot perceive what it does not expect. A man looking for failure cannot see success even when it stands before him. I once counseled a struggling merchant who lamented his poor sales. "Nothing I try works," he said. I replied, "because you expect nothing to work." I instructed him to write daily affirmations of increase and to begin each day expecting a profitable encounter. Within a month, his sales rose sharply. When asked the cause, he smiled. I began expecting success instead of doubting it. He had changed nothing externally, only his inner atmosphere. Faithful expectation also governs your speech. Every word is a seed. Speak only that which you wish to harvest. Stop declaring poverty, struggle, or bad luck. speak order, progress, and prosperity. Words charged with faith impress the subconscious more deeply than thought alone. The tongue is both a rudder and a wand. It steers destiny and casts command. This law extends beyond money into health, relationships, and peace. A man who expects discord creates it. A man who expects harmony attracts it. Every form of abundance begins with the same cause, a definite expectation sustained by emotion and backed by action. Let us now discuss how to keep expectation alive when results delay. Delay is not denial. It is gestation. Just as the farmer does not dig up the seed to check its growth, you must not disturb your aim with impatience. Continue watering it through faith, feeding it through gratitude, and protecting it through discipline. Every day you hold your expectation intact, it grows stronger roots in the unseen. When it finally appears, it will seem sudden to others, but not to you. You will know it was forming all along. The law of expectation operates with mathematical precision. For example, if you expect small returns, your behavior will unconsciously shrink your efforts. You will take fewer risks, pursue fewer opportunities, and display less energy. The results will justify your expectation. But if you expect large returns, you will naturally act with greater boldness. You will speak differently, decide faster, and attract others of similar faith. The world becomes a mirror to your self-image. Here is a powerful exercise. Each morning, before engaging with the world, close your eyes and visualize yourself as already prosperous. Feel the satisfaction, the calm, the certainty of a man who has mastered his finances. Then, throughout the day, act from that feeling, not toward it, but from it. You are not pretending, you are practicing law. The mind that lives as if already wealthy becomes the magnet for corresponding conditions. Expectation must be faithful, meaning it must not waver with outer appearances. Anyone can believe when results are visible. Mastery is to believe when nothing appears to happen. The invisible work is the real work. Faithful expectation holds steady when the senses report failure, knowing that law is still at work beneath the surface. Think again of Ford, Edison, Carnegie. None achieved greatness through doubt. They met adversity with conviction. They did not question the outcome. They questioned only how long they must labor before it appeared. Their confidence became contagious. Employees, partners, and investors rallied to them because certainty is attractive. The faithful man's calm becomes the world's compass. Let us summarize this law. Thought directs creation. Emotion fuels it. Expectation seals it. Doubt unseals it. Fear reverses it. Gratitude multiplies it. Repetition strengthens it. This is the geometry of faith. Repeat these words each night before sleep. I live in expectation of good. Every circumstance is for my advantage. Every delay serves my purpose. Every day confirms my faith. I expect success, and law fulfills my command. Within weeks, your outlook will change. You will awaken each morning with calm assurance rather than worry. Ideas will arrive faster, opportunities will appear more frequently, and coincidences will begin aligning with your aim. This is not mystery. It is the mathematical operation of thought upon matter. Soon, others will sense that you are different. They will ask why doors open for you so easily. You will smile, knowing that doors have always been open. You merely began expecting to walk through them. Faithful expectation does not change the world. It changes your awareness of what has been available all along. In time, this law will become effortless. You will no longer force faith. You will live it. You will no longer hope for wealth. You will expect it. You will no longer fear tomorrow. You will prepare for it with calm command. And when you reach that state, results will flow so naturally that others will call you fortunate. You will know better. You will know it was law. Let this be your decree. I expect increase because I am increase. I expect abundance because I serve abundance. I expect success because I live in harmony with divine law. Speak it until it no longer feels like affirmation, but identity. Expectation, when faithful, becomes reality. Faithful expectation is not only the key to fortune, it is the highest expression of belief. It is man's partnership with infinite intelligence, working hand in hand with the unseen power that governs all things. Hold this law, live it, and the next 12 months will not merely bring more income, they will bring mastery over fear, certainty and purpose, and a calm dominion over your own destiny. There is a truth few men ever learn until it is too late. No fortune can outlast the character of the man who holds it. Gold without integrity decays into dust. Money earned by deceit or vanity turns to burden. The world is filled with men who rose swiftly and fell even faster because they built wealth without principle. But there has never been a man of enduring riches who did not first become rich in character. The law of financial character declares that prosperity built on moral order cannot be shaken. Character is not a decoration, it is structure. It is the invisible foundation beneath all enduring wealth. The house of success stands secure only when its beams are virtue and its cement is conscience. Without these, the first storm of temptation sweeps it away. You must understand that character is not a product of circumstance. It is the cause of circumstance. It determines how much the universe can safely trust you with. Infinite intelligence will not deliver great power into unclean hands. Before abundance can arrive, you must prove that you can bear the weight of it without corruption. That proof is character. I have seen men of brilliance fall because they lacked this inner foundation. They mistook cunning for wisdom, manipulation for strategy, greed for ambition. They rose by trickery and collapsed by law. For the law of character is impartial. Whatever is gained through violation of truth carries within itself the seed of destruction. You cannot cheat law. It always collects. The man who understands this principle lives differently. He works not merely for profit, but for integrity of purpose. He knows that every act builds reputation, and reputation becomes capital. He values trust as currency more powerful than coin. When he speaks, men believe. When he promises, men follow. When he leads, men feel safe. This is financial character in motion. Let me tell you something the average man never considers. Money follows trust as surely as shadow follows light. When people trust your word, they will give you their business, their cooperation, their loyalty. They will extend credit, opportunity, and goodwill. And once this invisible credit is earned, no recession can destroy it. Trust is the one asset that appreciates with time. Abraham Lincoln understood this law better than any man of his century. His presidency was a storm of crisis, war, division, betrayal, but his character never wavered. When others lied to save their reputation, he told truth to save his soul. Even his enemies respected him. They may have disagreed with his decisions, but they could not doubt his integrity. That moral authority gave him power greater than any army. His name, long after his death, still commands reverence because truth never depreciates. Andrew Carnegie, too, lived by this principle. Though ruthless in business, he was guided by a higher moral code, that no man should die rich who had not served humanity. His fortune, once built, became an instrument for public good, libraries, universities, endowments. He believed money was a trust, not a possession. His legacy endures because it was built on the idea of stewardship, not ownership. The law of financial character teaches that the universe itself is moral. Its rewards are not arbitrary, they are exact. Dishonesty creates confusion. Integrity creates clarity. Greed creates pressure. Service creates peace. Every emotional state is a signal of alignment or violation. When you act against conscience, anxiety rises. When you act with truth, calm follows. This is the inner accounting of the soul. Here is an affirmation for this law. I build wealth on law. I earn it through service. My gain is clean, and therefore it endures. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts that purity of motive multiplies power. For what you truly believe about the source of wealth will determine the destiny of it. Understand this deeply. Dishonesty may produce quick results, but they fade like smoke. Law-abiding effort may seem slow, but it compounds forever. The universe favors patience over impulse, integrity over cunning. It rewards those who play the long game of character. There is a hidden mathematics to morality. Each act of honesty deposits energy into the unseen account of trust. Each betrayal withdraws far more than it gains. When your account is full, opportunity appears effortlessly. People recommend you. Chance aligns with you. Confidence surrounds you. When your account is empty, every venture collapses, for others feel your instability before you speak. Think of Henry Ford. He once faced a costly lawsuit from a newspaper that mocked him as ignorant. He could have responded with anger or falsehood, but he answered with dignity. He did not retaliate. He continued his work. His composure under fire made the public trust him more. The verdict of character outweighed the verdict of the court. In business, men speak often of credit scores and reputation, but the highest form of credit is invisible. It is measured not by banks, but by men's faith in your name. The merchant who guards his word never lacks customers. The leader who honors his promises never lacks followers. A single act of integrity can redeem years of struggle. Let us also speak of responsibility. Wealth magnifies whatever character it meets. If you are disorganized, money will increase your confusion. If you are generous, money will expand your benevolence. If you are selfish, money will amplify your greed. The dollar itself is neutral. It becomes the servant of your inner quality. Therefore, before seeking to multiply money, multiply character. True prosperity is harmony between conscience and ambition. You must never pit them against one another. When your conscience agrees with your ambition, the result is peace. When they oppose, success becomes torment. The man who sacrifices his peace for profit gains nothing. The man who preserves his integrity even under pressure gains everything, for he possesses himself. Consider the lesson of Charles M. Schwab. He was known for his extraordinary energy and confidence, but also for his fairness toward his men. He could demand loyalty because he gave it. He could inspire discipline because he practiced it. His workers trusted him, and that trust became the power behind Bethlehem Steel. Schwab's genius was not merely technical, it was moral. He understood that to lead, one must first be worthy of being followed. Greed is not ambition. It is fear disguised as desire. It arises from the belief that there is not enough to go around. Faithful ambition, however, believes in abundance. It seeks to create, not to take. It expands the world rather than shrinking it. Every dishonest act is an act of fear. Every generous act is an act of faith. Choose faith, and prosperity will follow as naturally as dawn follows night. Now let us examine the emotional consequence of character. The dishonest man lives in perpetual tension, for he fears exposure. He cannot rest even when surrounded by luxury. His wealth becomes his jailer. The man of clean conscience sleeps peacefully even in modest surroundings. His wealth serves him. He does not serve it. The first lives in fear of losing. The second lives in joy of giving. Remember this principle. Whatever you give multiplies in kind. This is the law of reciprocity. If you give deceit, deceit returns. If you give fairness, fairness comes back multiplied. The universe reflects character. This is not superstition. It is arithmetic. Every thought and action returns in form, though often through different channels. The man who sows goodwill reaps support. The man who sows selfishness reaps isolation. Let me tell you of Thomas Edison. He built his laboratories not on secrecy, but on cooperation. He credited his assistants freely, shared discoveries generously, and inspired loyalty through recognition. When fire consumed his factory, he did not despair. He said to his son, "Go get your mother. She'll never see a fire like this again." Such serenity in the face of loss can only come from moral clarity. He trusted life because his own conscience was clear. Financial character gives a man a presence that cannot be purchased. You will notice it in the way he carries himself. Calm, unhurried, grounded. His eyes do not dart with fear. His tone carries conviction. Others feel at ease around him. They sense honesty before he speaks. That vibration of integrity is his invisible advertisement. Repeat this decree to fix the idea in your soul. My word is law. My integrity is my fortune. My motives are pure. Therefore, my wealth shall endure. These words are not for decoration. They are spiritual contracts. Each time you affirm them, you raise your moral credit with the universe itself. Beware of false shortcuts. Many are tempted to compromise once success begins. They imagine that having arrived, they can relax the discipline that built them. But law does not rest. The moment you betray principle, decline begins. The higher the rise, the more devastating the fall. Therefore, guard your moral center as you would a treasure vault. You may ask, does honesty always pay? I answer, it pays infinitely more than dishonesty ever can, for it pays in peace of mind. The dishonest man counts coins. The honest man counts blessings. The first lives under judgment, the second lives under law. One must defend his riches, the other is defended by them. Let us return to the essence of this law. Wealth without virtue cannot last. Virtue without wealth is noble but incomplete. Together, they form the divine balance of abundance. Your goal is not only to become prosperous, but to become worthy of prosperity. When you embody justice, humility, and service, riches come as a byproduct. Understand that character itself is magnetism. It attracts right people and right circumstances. When your conscience is clear, your intuition sharpens. You sense opportunity instinctively because your mind is unobstructed by guilt or deceit. Moral purity enhances perception. You see more clearly, decide more quickly, and act more effectively. As your reputation grows, protect it with vigilance. Reputation is the shadow of character. It follows everywhere. A single careless act can darken years of honorable work. Do not take this lightly. Speak truth even when silence seems easier. Keep promises even when costly. Return more value than agreed. These habits are the pillars of lasting fortune. Now let me describe how others will see you once you live this law. They will perceive steadiness in you, a reliability that feels rare in a restless world. They will trust you without words. They will say, "He is a man of his word." Your mere presence will carry assurance. Business partners will seek you. Subordinates will respect you. Friends will defend you. You will no longer need to pursue opportunity. It will seek the shelter of your reliability. The man of character becomes a center of order. His calm steadies others. His fairness corrects injustice. His consistency inspires imitation. Without preaching, he teaches. Without boasting, he leads. The quiet dignity of his example becomes his legacy. When at last you have built both wealth and virtue, you will discover the highest form of prosperity, peace. You will find that you no longer crave applause or comparison. You will measure success not by possessions, but by principles. You will see money not as master, but as messenger, a servant carrying your vision into the world. Let this truth close the lesson. When character becomes capital, money is merely its echo. Write it, repeat it, live it. For the man who masters this law will never fear loss. Even if stripped of every possession, he would rebuild, for his wealth resides within. The world may take his fortune, but can never touch his foundation, and that foundation Moral law expressed through disciplined action is the only wealth that endures. So guard your integrity more carefully than your bank account. Increase it daily through honesty, fairness, humility, and service. For in the final accounting of life, riches may pass from hand to hand, but character is the one treasure that travels with the soul. Now that the foundation has been laid, the laws of awakening, decision, discipline, multiplication, faith, and character, you are ready for what must follow. The 12-month blueprint of transformation. This is where knowledge becomes power through motion. It is where belief becomes wealth through order. It is where the next year of your life separates itself from every year that came before it. Understand this clearly. You do not need more time. You need more direction within the time you already possess. A man may drift through 12 years and achieve nothing. Another may live 12 months with purpose and achieve more than most do in a lifetime. It is not time that matters, but how it is organized, aimed, and filled with definite purpose. 12 months is enough if each day is lived as though it counts, which it does. So let us begin the plan. It will be simple, practical, and exact. No man who follows it with honesty and discipline will fail to see transformation. You will not be required to work harder than before, only more intentionally. You will not need to chase luck. Law will work for you once you align with it. The blueprint is divided into 7 phases of development, though they blend naturally into one another. Think of them not as steps to climb, but as rhythms to sustain. Each builds on the last. Each deepens your command. Each transforms you from a man of wishes into a man of direction. Months 1 and 2, clarity and foundation. These are the months of decision. You will define your definite aim, not in vague language, but in measurable written form. You will answer the questions. What is the exact amount of income I intend to earn within 12 months? What service or value will I provide in exchange for it? Write your answers daily until they become fixed in your mind. This repetition is not formality. It is reprogramming. Each writing carves certainty into the subconscious. During these 2 months, remove distraction. Reduce your world to essentials: your goal, your plan, your study, and your discipline. Every other activity must serve these. Study the philosophy of achievement daily. 10 pages or 10 minutes will do. The mind must be fed right ideas until they become instinct. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose, notes, affirmations, symbols of your aim. Speak your goal aloud morning and night. Let it become part of your breathing. Each morning, begin with 10 minutes of directed thought, your mental command. Sit in silence, visualize your goal completed, and ask silently, what must I do today to move closer? Record what comes to mind. You will be surprised how often guidance appears in that stillness. By the end of the 2nd month, your mind will begin to settle. What once felt chaotic will feel ordered. Your vision will no longer seem distant. It will start to feel possible, even inevitable. Months 3 and 4, building rhythm and discipline. Now comes the shaping of habit. Decide that each day will serve a single primary purpose. Before you begin work, list your 3 most important tasks. Write them. Complete the first before moving to the second. This may sound simple, but it is revolutionary. 1 completed task builds confidence. 10 unfinished tasks build frustration. The key to progress is completion, not commotion. These are the months of consistency. Your goal is no longer to dream, but to do. You must act each day in harmony with your aim, even if the act seems small. Momentum is born not of speed, but of regularity. The mind that acts daily trains itself to obey without argument. Keep a written record of your progress. Each night, review. What did I do today to advance my aim? What did I learn? What must I correct? This reflection is your internal compass. Without it, days blur into one another and the old drift returns. With it, awareness grows and awareness multiplies progress. Discipline will feel demanding at first, but soon it will feel liberating. Freedom is not doing what you please, it is doing what you decide. Within 4 months, the rhythm of productivity will replace the habit of distraction. You will notice greater confidence, clearer thought, and quieter emotion. That is the beginning of mastery. Months 5 and 6, refinement and service. Now that the framework of habit is built, the next step is refinement. Ask yourself, how can I serve better? Wealth flows where service improves. Study your craft, learn from masters, refine your systems. Small improvements may daily compound into mastery. These are the months where opportunities begin to appear. The world starts to mirror your inner order. People respond differently to you because you project clarity and certainty. Use these months to build alliances. Find at least one person whose belief strengthens your own. Discuss progress weekly, exchange accountability, share insight. This is your mastermind ally. Continue to feed your subconscious faith. Visualize not only success, but gratitude for success. Gratitude seals results into reality. Whenever fear arises, replace it with the affirmation, every circumstance serves my purpose. Every challenge strengthens my progress. I walk by law, not by luck. By the end of the 6th month, you will have accomplished more than most do in years. You will feel momentum underfoot. But beware of complacency. Success tempts a man to relax. You must now learn expansion without indulgence. Months 7 and 8, expansion and multiplication. These are the months of growth. Your first stream of success will begin to stabilize. Now the law of multiplication awakens. Ask, what can I multiply without dividing my focus? What can I automate, delegate, or expand to serve more people? Increase must be orderly. Build systems before adding streams. If your goal involves business, use these months to scale production or reach. If it involves a skill, use these months to teach others or expand influence. The key is not to chase more activity, but to create more efficiency. Work smarter by design, not harder by exhaustion. In this stage, reinvest profits into knowledge, tools, or people that magnify output. Money reinvested with intelligence multiplies itself. Money spent on vanity evaporates. Learn from Rockefeller. He expanded one foundation at a time, each supporting the next. This is the way of sustainable success. Continue affirming daily, I expand only what I have mastered. I multiply order, not confusion. My growth is steady, my results certain. This command keeps your expansion balanced. By the end of the 8th month, life will feel accelerated. You will sense invisible cooperation. The right people appear, coincidences align, timing improves. This is not magic. It is law responding to expectation. Stay calm. Do not boast. Stay grateful, for pride invites correction. Gratitude invites multiplication. Months 9 and 10, fortification and faith. At this stage, you must protect your foundation. The higher the tower, the deeper the roots must grow. Strengthen systems, re-examine character, and renew faith. Success often whispers a dangerous lie. You did this alone. Remember, no man rises without help, seen and unseen. Reconnect with the principles that began your journey. Study them again. Humility is your protection. These are the months where you will test your faith. Progress may seem to slow, unexpected challenges may arise. This is natural. Every seed meets resistance before full bloom. Do not panic. The law has not failed. It is testing your steadiness. Hold to your routines, your affirmations, and your belief. Speak this daily. My results are unfolding in perfect order. I stand firm in faith. What belongs to me cannot pass me. Repeat it until peace returns. You will feel stability even when circumstances appear uncertain. That composure will attract respect. Others will turn to you for guidance, sensing strength in your calm. These months also demand generosity. Give more of your time, your value, your attention to others. Generosity is circulation. It keeps abundance alive. The man who hoards blessings chokes their flow. Share your knowledge, your encouragement, your example. To give is to strengthen law's grip on your prosperity. Months 11 and 12, consolidation and renewal. Now comes the harvest. By this stage, you will not only see results, you will feel transformation. You will notice how much clearer your thought has become, how much calmer your spirit feels, how much more confident your decisions are. Others will notice too. You will move differently, speak differently, live differently. Use these final months to organize your progress. Review every journal, every note, every decision. What patterns led to success? What habits still weaken you? Keep what serves you. Release what drains you. Simplify again. Power is simplicity. Give thanks daily. Gratitude finalizes transformation. Each morning, write 3 things you are thankful for. Each evening, speak them aloud. Gratitude multiplies the energy of every achievement. It opens the door for the next 12 months to begin from a higher level. Now, at the close of your first year, you will have accomplished something extraordinary. Not merely financial gain, but mastery of self. You will have proven to your subconscious that you are no longer a man of drift. You are a man of direction. That realization will become your greatest possession. From this point forward, repeat the cycle. Each year, raise the aim, refine the habits, expand the service, deepen the faith, and strengthen the character. The 12-month blueprint is not a temporary experiment. It is a lifelong method of advancement. Let me now summarize the essence of this system in practical form. Each day, do these 5 things without exception. Begin with 10 minutes of silent direction. Visualize your goal as completed. Write your 3 chief aims for the day. Execute them with focus until completion. Review your day before rest. Extract wisdom. Speak 1 affirmation of faith and gratitude. If you do these 5 acts daily for 12 months, nothing in heaven or earth can prevent your transformation. And as you rise each morning, repeat this decree until it becomes part of your being. Each day I rise in purpose. Each thought builds fortune. Each act brings reward. I work by law, not by luck. My 12 months begin now. Let me speak plainly so there is no confusion. This plan will not work if you treat it casually. It demands seriousness, consistency, and faith. But if you give it 12 honest months, it will change you. It will alter how you think, speak, and move. It will reveal that the limits you once accepted were illusions. You may not recognize yourself at the end of the year. Others will see you and sense difference. They will wonder what happened. Some will envy, some will admire, some will seek your guidance. You will tell them the truth, that you stopped drifting and you began living by law. That is all. 12 months from now, you will no longer be asking, "Can I do this?" You will be asking, "How much more can I build?" You will no longer fear opportunity. You will command it. You will no longer chase money. Money will follow the rhythm of your service. And so I leave you with this vision. Picture it clearly. It is 1 year from today. You wake early, not from alarm, but from desire. Your mind is calm, your day already planned. You are surrounded by evidence of progress, order, clarity, purpose. You feel in control of your life, perhaps for the first time. You look back at who you were 12 months ago and whisper, "That man was asleep. This one is awake." That is what these 12 months will give you. Not just wealth, but awakening. Not just income, but identity. Not just opportunity, but ownership of your mind. And remember, this transformation does not begin with the calendar. It begins the moment you decide. The second you declare, "My 12 months begin now," law begins to move. Providence reorganizes itself around your decision. What you need will appear. Who you need will arrive. What seemed impossible will yield. Say it aloud now. Say it with conviction. My 12 months begin now. My thought is definite. My faith is steady. My purpose is clear. My actions are daily. My results are inevitable. If you hold that decree in your heart and obey the simple plan laid before you, 12 months from now, you will not only make more money than you ever imagined, you will become the man capable of commanding it. You do not need 5 years. You do not need to wait for conditions. You need 12 months of direction, discipline, and belief. That is all. So rise tomorrow morning with this in your heart. The next year of your life will be the most decisive, most focused, most rewarding you have ever lived. Begin it now, not someday, not after permission, not after comfort. Begin it today. For law waits for no man, but it always rewards the man who decides.